So last week I put out a video called The Western RPG Player's Guide to Gacha, and in it I talked about the fundamentals of gacha games, both pros and cons, from the perspective of someone who might have only played traditional Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate or Dragon Age. The video was pretty well received, and I absolutely invite you to check it out if you haven't yet. I'll leave a link at the end of this video. But I did receive a number of comments along the lines of, you didn't talk about the pity system. and many even said that the fact that the pity system exists is the only reason they play gacha games. Now, in my defense, I didn't go into depth on that system because at the time I was afraid that my video was already running into the overly long area. But those people are right. Pity systems in gacha games are extremely important, even fundamental to people's enjoyment of the genre. So let's remedy that by talking about them now. We'll call this subsection 6, paragraph A of Gacha 101. Okay, so to start off with, what exactly is the pity system? Well, remember last time I talked about the notion of banners and pulls, and that those are really just fancy words for loot crates and opening the loot crate to see what you got. Well, the pity system is a mechanic by which the game bends the rules of randomness to your favor, essentially ensuring that if after you've opened so many loot crates, or make so many pulls on the banner, to use the gacha parlance, that you are eventually guaranteed to get the character or items that are featured on that banner. And that's it, really. In fact, that's really the only hard rule that there is when it comes to pity systems, that eventually you will get the character or item that you want. Because beyond that, as we'll see, the rules around the actual mechanics of the pity system will vary from game to game. And in fact, some games may not even have a pity system at all. Okay, so let's dig in a little bit and examine more closely the pity system in Zenless Zone Zero. Now, the pity system across all Hoyoverse games is pretty similar, although I think there are some slight differences, but I'm going to leave that to you Reddit deep divers. Right now, we're just talking about broad concepts. In Zenless Zone Zero, when you pull on a featured banner or do a signal search, as it were, your base chances of getting the featured character is, wait for it, 0.6%. Yep, that's right. It's less than 1%. As you can imagine, you could go a long time and never ever get that featured character. And that's where the pity system comes in. Because in ZZZ, after 90 pulls, you are guaranteed to get an S-rank character. But you're still not guaranteed to get the featured S-rank character. Instead, when you do pull that first S-rank, whether it be your first pull or your 90th pull, there's a 50% chance that you will get the premier S-rank, the one that's featured, and a 50% chance that you'll get one of the other S-rank characters that's on the banner. And you can see the other S-ranks that make up that pool that explains it to you. So yeah, on that first S-rank character, it's literally a freaking coin flip as to whether or not you're going to get the character you want. Though you will get someone, like, say, Lycan or Kalita. And that's what people are talking about when they say they won their 50-50 or they lost their 50-50. It's whether or not they won or lost on that coin toss when they pulled that first S-rank. Now here's the thing, regardless of whether you won or lost, your pull count resets. And again, you're 90 pulls away from being guaranteed your next S-rank. But if you lost that 50-50, then you are guaranteed that the next S-rank you pull will in fact be the featured character on the banner. And with that knowledge, you can accurately determine what your worst case scenario is for getting a particular character, depending on how many pulls you've made on the banner so far. And in fact, when I was playing Honkai Star Rail, I made myself a little spreadsheet, being the geek that I am, that did just exactly that. I could enter the amount of Stellar Jade I currently had, how many Anaric shards I had, if any, and how many pulls I was in the current banner. And then from that, it would tell me how many Stellar Jade I would need, both for the next 5-star and for the next guaranteed character. And then I entered the store prices for bundles at that time, and with that, I could then approximately tell how much it was going to cost me if I absolutely wanted to guarantee myself the current featured character. And of course, that's actually a little bit low, because you can't buy the shards on a one-to-one basis. You have to buy a bundle, or multiple bundles as the case may be, to accumulate enough for the actual count that you need. But this does give me an idea. And because the numbers for Honkai Star Rail and ZZZ are actually very similar, what it does tell me is that I cannot afford you, Evelyn, no matter how much I need another superior DPS for my team. And that's really just for one pity system for one game. As I mentioned earlier, pity systems can vary greatly from game to game. For instance, let's look quickly at Arknight's pity system. The way their system works is that after 50 pulls, if you haven't gotten a 6-star operator yet, then your odds start going up 2% per pull, every pull, until either you get the 6-star operator or you reach 100%, at which point you will then, in fact, get the operator. But unlike Zenless Zone Zero, you're not guaranteed a premier character after your next 6-star, even if you lose the 50-50. And that's probably something you want to be aware of if you're playing this game, right? That's probably enough detail for pity systems for one video. And if you skip to the end, well, congrats, because here are the key takeaways. 1. Pity systems are essentially systems that ensure players will eventually get the character or item featured on the current banner. 2. Not every gacha game will necessarily even have a pity system. And 3, if there is a pity system, the rules around that system can vary greatly from game to game. Okay, that's going to be a wrap on this episode of I'm Still Playing. I hope you enjoyed this and it helped you understand this extremely important mechanic found in almost all current gacha games. And again, it's given you the ammunition to play these games and enjoy them while not necessarily losing your wallet. If you haven't checked out my previous guide to gachas, well, hey, look, there's the link right there. You should definitely go and click that. And until next time, whatever you're playing, play hard.